Friday afternoon, the weekend has landed. Not that we're waiting for the weekend, but it's the Ignite Your Purpose podcast. Rolling up the week, another topic from us to you, free of charge. Episode 68. 68. We previously did 31 on another channel. They're all coming together tomorrow. I think we may just call it episode 100.
Why not?
Make a bit of a show out of it. Yesterday, we kind of spoke about the World Cup and how certainly in the UK, the whole nation's been lifted by how successful the team has been, but just generally the attitude of the football players, this level of positivity, that's crept into the media. They're not quite so negative. It's kind of bringing things together. And that's come from a good thing. But typically what I've noticed and I've read or heard from places is it usually takes tragedy or a national disaster or an earthquake or a hurricane to bring our community together to help each other. And I'm just wondering if Max has any comments on this. I've got a couple of comments. I'm going to let Max go first. We're coordinated in the red again today. So...
Oh, and by the way, people, because John forgot, this is the Ignite Your Purpose podcast, show, vlog, blog, the Chinwag session. So I agree with John 100%, but I kind of want to go I like to dig a little deeper, and I want to say this. Tragedies, atrocities, they're committed every day, all day. Yet it's only certain ones that I would say the media shines light on that we then take notice of. I know here in Canada and probably North America and many places around the world, there are movements, there are hashtags, there are all these things being done, but there are groups of people that are being decimated daily, people being swept under the rug that we never hear about. And that is an atrocity, that is a tragedy, but nobody shines light on it, so it doesn't get to the greater conscious. Having said that, when we do see the earthquakes, when we do see the volcanoes, when we do see a mass shooting, whatever it is, obviously it triggers something inside of us and I believe I said this to John yesterday, that puts us in a spot of actual reality with our own death. It puts us in the moment where I think we actually realize, oh wow, if that was me, that would be it. So I think it brings us to a spot where we become very human, very humble, and very aware of our humanity.
Yeah, it reminds us that we are human, and we are,
which is an amazing thing. We need more of that. For me, I just say it's sad, but true for all of us that it takes those things to bring us back into the moment.
Good words, and absolutely true. Now, bouncing on from yesterday, now I don't particularly wish a tragedy or a national disaster on my own particular community. We had a bus swept off a bridge a few years ago, but we were all safe. But I want to bring it back to my local area, and you can bring it back to your local area. Just about creating a sense of community. Back in the day, we used to have street parties. We used to know each other's neighbours. We used to be able to look after the neighbour's children or give him a slap around the ear when he was cheeky. But it seems that this kind of sense of community is gone. We're all so private and sort of insular within our own homes now. And I was wondering how each of us on our own personal level can try and make the effort to create that community again. And I was thinking, I was on the bike this morning, 5 in the morning, as I do. And I was thinking, is it about being the first person? You see somebody you know in the street, and you sometimes go, I'll just watch past them, they don't see me. Making a point of saying hi, or waving, or just smiling. How you doing? Good to see you. And that's all it needs to be. Whether it's letting somebody out at the junction, smiling to somebody you see in the car, help an old lady with the groceries out the car, just these really, really simple things. Holding a door open for a lady or a child, and they sound quite trivial, and they sound quite simple. And how much benefit could that be? But that might make a little old man or lady's day. Oh, this lovely gently helped me across the road. And we don't have to do it for wanting to get something back, but just because it's a good thing to do. And that's what I thought I would do. I'm gonna be very conscious of trying to do these almost insignificant acts of kindness because I can, because I'm conscious enough to do that. And I think it's important.
It is.
And I'm sure there's no such thing as an altruistic event. There'll always be that little bit of that little lady or that little old man, but you're not there doing it because you want the thank you or the pat on the back. You're doing it just because you can. Max?
Two things I want to say. One, actually, a couple of days ago, I was going into a meeting, big fancy restaurant. I held the door open for a group of absolutely gorgeous women that were probably in their early 30s. And I'll tell you one thing, brother. Not one of them even acknowledged me.
Well, no, thank you, or...
Didn't even acknowledge me. Just that, that makes me question humanity for sure. 9 times out of 10, unless you say hello to somebody, in my experience, people do not say hi to you. I'm just trying to keep it real on the flip side of this, right? Yeah. So I do feel like I agree with you. It's up to me to say hi. Yeah. If I don't, and I've done this test numerous times, it's very rare that people say hi to me. Interesting fact. And one other thing, you talk about, you've been here, I live in a very touristy town, and little things like letting cars in line, into the mix. I noticed in these areas, people are always rushing around to get here and there. Yet if we go to another area, like I visit Hawaii a lot, it is the exact opposite. It is so slow. And I mean, there could be 300 cars in line and people will let you in 99.8% of the time. Here, it's not like that. Very interesting fact.
And that's really weird because I've been to Canmore, and Canmore is a community. I'm sure there are peak times of the summer where it's nothing but tourists and all the locals disappear. But for me, it really is a community, and I do see people being let in line and people holding the doors.
Interesting. Oh yeah,
maybe because I'm looking for it, but I come from a country very much like that. If you see somebody just kind of pulling out and not letting somebody out, we normally say they must be a visitor, and 9 times out of 10 they are, but because they're driving, they have to drive whether it's to be able to get from A to B to go about their daily life. But sometimes the locals are just head down, whizzing around.
Yeah.
But I thought,
you brought. Oh.
No, go on.
I was just going to say you brought up a good point because I guess in the end it's perspective really,
and it's how you choose to internalize it, and whether it doesn't matter if everybody else is doing whatever, as long as you think, do you know what, I did that, and I feel good that I did that because I helped somebody out, irrelevant of whether they thanked you or not. Mm-hmm. Don't take that personally. They probably don't thank anybody in their lives, or if somebody's offensive, they're probably offensive to everybody. So it's how we choose to accept this behaviour that goes around us.
And for example, that group of ladies I held the door open for, I would not let them not saying a word to me ever stop me from doing it again. Like that's just it's how I was raised. It's what I'm going to continue to do. It's that little drop of rain in the ocean that creates the tsunami, right? We have to keep doing that to spread that positivity for sure.
And you get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And then people see the way that you behave and the way that you treat people. And that may say, maybe I should take a leaf out of that guy's feather out of his cap, or leaf out of the book, or whatever the phrase is. And we create growth by example. And hopefully that grows.
Truth.
Oh, yeah.
Truth. You better be just a little bit better every day.
There we go. As always, thank you. We appreciate you. We always say the same way. Thanks for listening, guys. Brilliant that you're turning up. And And we're going to be here each and every day for you, for Max, for myself, for each other. Just growing from negative to positive, unhealthy to healthy, unconscious to conscious.
Yep. Nice.
That's us. We're done.
That's it. We appreciate. We know you could be any in the world, and you here. See you tomorrow.